Hey guys, it's Ren from Make It by Ren, and if you want to see how I store my lip products from lipsticks, lip glosses, and lip liners, stay tuned for more. Hey guys, so I'm back with another video, and today is a makeup storage video, which is awesome because we all love that. A lot of you guys who watch my videos are makeup junkies, makeup artists, and I'm sure you have tons of products or you're starting to build your collection and you want to know how to store stuff. Now, I consider myself pretty OCD when it comes to organization. As any of my friends, anybody I've worked with, I'm very particular about it because it just makes me feel better when things are nicely organized. And on top of that, not only are things organized and look better, but it makes things a lot easier to clean up and find. So you can make sure to use all your products, see all your products, and just makes life easier. So I'm going to show you several different ways that I store my lip products. I've been meaning to do this video for a really long time. I was going to do a depotting lipstick video and showing you how I kind of put them in all these different ways, but honestly, that's when I first got this camcorder and I wasn't really used to it, so everything came out really crappy. So today I'm going to make up for it and show you all the different ways I store my lip products. And I didn't come up with all of these ideas on my own. I got the ideas from other YouTube videos, other gurus, bloggers, makeup artists, so yeah, YouTube is a land of ideas, so I'm just going to kind of show you all of it in one video. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's start with lip pencils. Now, you know, there are a lot of different ways to store them. You can store them in a cup, you can store them in a drawer, you know, pencil case. I used to just store mine in something like this, which is like, it goes into a unit, and this is like lip liners. This isn't lip liners, this is eyeliners right now. But it just became really difficult to dig through and find out, you know, find the specific color I was looking for. Like, it just took extra time. So instead, what I do now is I got this little book here. It's by Global Art, and I think you can get it online at dickblick.com, dickblick.com. I'll confirm that and I'll put the link in my blog post. But I got this idea from YouTuber Hunter Dustin, and he's amazing, so you should definitely check him out. He came up with this idea to use colored pencil cases for your lip liners, or I don't think he used them for lip liners, I think he used them for lip glosses and lipsticks, but I'm using them for lip liners because a lip pencil is pretty much like a colored pencil. It fits right in, and this is a really nice, this is actually like a leather case, and it has zippers, so you can zip everything up nice and secure. It comes in several different sizes. I got the smallest one for my lip pencils, and it's not super cheap, but I think it's worth it in the long run because it makes transport really easy, makes everything really easy. So what I did is I tried to cram all my pencils. I probably need to upgrade to a bigger one, but I separated them into different categories. Some of them are a little out of order, but you get the hint. Okay, so here are some reds, then we have some berry tones, some browns, pinks, and some nudes. But you put them in these little elastic straps, so they go through top and bottom. I try to fit at least 2 per slot, to just 2 or 3 per slot to you know, save space. But when I'm doing a gig on somebody and I need a lip pencil, I can just be like, okay, I need to do a nude lip pencil because you have a nude lip. Then I flip right to the nude lip parts, or pinks, or if I want to do a red lip on them. So it's just really convenient and really easy. And if I'm doing a gig, I don't bring the whole book. I guess you could. I take out what I need and I just put it in my kit and then I'll put it back. But a lot of times I do gigs in my home studio, and this makes my life so much easier. So that's this. I think this is supposed to hold 36 pencils, I'm not sure, but this is the smaller size of those. Now let's go to lip glosses, and I ordered the grandpa size of that, which is this one. Same brand, Global Art, right there. Except this one is huge, right? So inside here I hold lip glosses. And these are mainly tube glosses with an applicator. I know Hunter used these to also store pigment vials, and I think he might have used them for lipsticks. I tried lipsticks, but I think they were too like chunky to fit in here. So basically it's the same concept as the lip pencils, except you can really only fit one per elastic strap, and you kind of have to jam it in there, but they fit. So I have like a pink section, a nude section, berries, corals. I fit even the little mini Christmas glosses from MAC, and corals, and this is like, these are Kissable Couture glosses, which are longer, so I can't really stack them on top of each other. So MAC ones are small though, so you can kind of double stack them and they touch. So yeah, this is where I store my lip glosses, and again, makes life so much easier because I can just flip, and if I'm trying to find a pink lip, I can find a nude lip. Really easy. And again, if I have a gig, I just take it from this, and then I'll put it in my kit, and then I'll replace it. And then you can zip these up as well. So, this isn't really a zip though because it's kind of chunky, but you could probably zip it up. So again, you could use this possibly for lipsticks, more colored pencils, more lip pencils, whatever. Okay, so let's jump into lipsticks and some more glosses. So many of you have probably seen things like this. This is a lipstick tray from eBay. It holds 60 lip products, and I got the idea from Tiffany, Makeup by Tiffany D. And in here I store some lipsticks. I always store things upside down so I could see the labels, but it's really convenient because it's like they really maximize space. And it's a tray, so it has these little things like here. I kind of wish it was a box type thing, but it still works really good, and it's good for putting in, like, if you have like drawers or shelves or something. So you could put lipsticks in here, you could put lip glosses as well. Here's another one. They're very inexpensive, I can't remember how much, but if you type in like lipstick tray or 60 count lipstick tray, something like that, in eBay, you should be able to find it. I don't know the seller though, so I'm sorry I don't have that info, but you can totally like look on eBay. So here, instead of the lipsticks, I put squeezy lip glosses because I like to have things in their own category. So here are a bunch of random glosses, different brands, OCC, MAC, whatever, you know, all in here. Okay, so you don't have to necessarily get that lipstick tray. I know it's kind of hard, it's on eBay. It is convenient though because it fits a lot, but you can always do like a box. This is like a hard, kind of like box. It came with a top. This is from Container Store. And I put lipsticks and I put my tall glosses in here. Like my NYX glosses, my MAC Dazzle glasses, and stuff like that. So the only thing about boxes like this is that you can't have it half full or everything's toppling over, so you kind of have to pack it. But you know, any alternative is like taking any kind of like storage box, any kind of shoe box, any kind of, you know, those clear containers that you see everywhere. You can put them. I just like the Container Store ones because they're really sturdy and thick. See how thick that is? So yeah, I just took the top off of that. So if you're looking for another kind of lipstick tray, the Container Store does sell them. This one holds 4, 8, 12, 6, 20, 24. So this one has actually bigger squares than the eBay one. And it kind of was too little for my makeup kit collection, so I just use these for my own personal glosses. And they're, you know, it's like, again, it's a bigger square, so they're probably better for lipsticks because my lip glosses go to and fro, but it still works. So that's an option. If, you know, you can be creative. You can put, you know, whatever holds your products. Like here's a popsicle holder. Yeah, it's a popsicle holder. It's a popsicle mold, but I put, again, this is from my personal collection where it doesn't have to look as nice and I just stick them in a drawer. But I have lip liners, lipsticks, lip glosses, big lip glosses fit in here. And it's like just an idea. So those are some more ideas. Okay, so let's go on to lipsticks. Now, you saw I have lipsticks in the, you know, the boxes, the box type things, whatever. Another thing I did was I used these things. Now these are actually from Michaels. They are bead and kind of like crystal containers because everybody who's into crafts is also really into organization, so that's a good idea to look and see how they organize so you can kind of use them. So I got these from Michaels. I got this idea from Miss Maui Mac online. on YouTube. She's also known as Harajuku Honeys, and she did this, and I love the idea because basically what I did is I took all of my lipsticks and I depotted them. So there's still some in here, but what I did was I would have a full tube, I would slice off the first half and I would put it in here. Then I would slice off the second half and I depotted them into little pans, which I'll show you in a second. And then the little bottom part here, which there's probably about that much left if you dig in it, I'm using these as my personal lipstick. So I basically took one lipstick and was able to split it 3 ways. So when clients come over to my house to get their makeup done, I always look into these little things to find their color. And I have about 4 of these, and I kind of separated them into sections. So you open it up and it has like these stacks that you guys probably are familiar with. They're a little bit bigger than the regular one that you might see, but they come in stacks and you can screw them apart, and then they're divided into drawers. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 per stack, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's about 30 that can fit in here. And the reason why I love this is because you guys have all seen people make their own little lipstick palettes, and I like that idea. You know, like where it's like a pill box and it opens up. I do like that idea, but I struggled with it only because I felt that if I wanted to reorganize and move around colors, I couldn't because it was kind of stuck in there. Then I'd have to scoop it out and it would be messy. You know, something kind of similar to this, where you can put, you know, things in there. You know, like this would be a lipstick one. But again, if I put them in here, if my collection grows or it shifts, I just felt like it would be difficult to switch. I mean, if you want to do this, this is perfectly fine, but I'm just kind of OCD and I'm very particular about how I do it. So to me, this made more sense because basically you can twist apart the trays, like the tops, like they all twist apart. So technically, if I am growing more of this color, I can split them into 2 stacks. I can mix and match them, and I wasn't like tied to a certain palette, you know, especially if I outgrew the colors in that palette. So here I tried to organize it by color, and what I did is I also labeled them. So here's a red stack right here, and this one has, you can see, MAC Ruby Woo, MAC Port Red, NYX Electra. It has various reds in here, and you can, since it's clear, you can easily see the color. So when I'm doing a gig, I can see, okay, let me find you a red, and then you just open it up and they stay nice and fresh and they don't dry out because of this thing. So here's the thing, I didn't melt them in, I just squeeze them in because I find that it's easier that way. It doesn't change the color and consistency. But what I do is it's in here, and I'll take a spatula and scoop it out, and then I'm good to go. So this is an idea. It's not expensive. I think you can get these for like, this whole thing for like 10 bucks. And it's easy. I mean, you know, clear is good because you can see through clear. So that's important as a makeup artist, or just like in storage in general. So like here's one, and here I have more pinks and brownie pinks kind of stuff. So there's that way to store lipsticks, and you know, it's great and everything, but it's kind of bulky, so I kind of keep that at home. I used to bring different lipsticks with me on gigs, like when I travel with my kit, but then I found that it was so hard to find the lipstick because you literally have to read the tops of everything. So, you know, that was cool and everything. Like, for example, here's another way to store lipsticks. This is cuter. This is called the Tea Collection. It's one of someone off of, you know, she has like a blog, or she was, you know, a beauty like addict like the rest of us. She came up with this and she sells them on Etsy, and they're all like, they almost look like a spice rack with 3 tiers, and she drills holes and she custom makes them. So I wanted the dark wood one to match my furniture, and they fit MAC lipsticks or lip glosses. So I put all my MAC lipsticks in here that are black. So it's a really cute way to store it. But again, you know, if you're on a kit, if you're on a gig, it's kind of hard to be able to read through all your lipsticks. So what I do when I travel on a gig, and this is the last one, I put them into palettes. And this one is, for example, this is just a regular MAC palette and it's lipsticks, plums, and berries. So you open it up and then I have them here. So like I said, I took original one lipstick and I split it 3 ways. I kept some in the tube for me. I kept some in those little screw top jars for at-home clients. And I put some in here for like traveling because it's so much easier to take these and just put them in a MAC palette. And like I have several categories. Here's lipsticks, nudes, and light pinks. You can see some of those right here. That doesn't belong in there. And then what I would do is I have like empty ones for travel. So it says travel lipstick. And then these are some colors that I traveled with recently. And these are all basically like they're the empty eyeshadow pans that you would press pigment into. And I would put a magnet and then a label on the back. So this is MAC Melrose Mood. Here's one by, I think this is by Afterglow Cosmetics called Wink. This one's Stilo Opulence. Like, and the circles came with the MAC, came with these empty pans. And you can buy these pans like online from like starsmakeuphaven.com or anything like that. So basically to do this, there are a million tutorials on there. What I did is I took a little palette knife and I cut 1/3, the top third of the lipstick off, and I put it in the pan, and then I put the pan on top of a flat iron and I let it melt for like 10 seconds. Oops. Let it melt for 10 seconds and then it dries for a couple minutes and then it's in this solid state right here. And then you put the label and the magnet on the back and then you stick it to your MAC palette. Now the only problem with this method is it looks really nice and neat and stuff like that. But when you melt certain lipsticks, it does change the way they look in the pan, and they do apply differently. And I did notice that applies more to shimmery lipsticks. Like MAC Viva Glam 5 does not look right after you melt it. But matte lipsticks like MAC Ruby Woo, more cream kind of lipsticks, they look awesome like this. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind. But it makes it so much more convenient in a gig, and I can fit 26 lipsticks in here. And you know, people pre-sell lipstick palettes. Like I have a Graftobian lipstick palette, and I have like an Eve Pro one. But I like to have kind of like my familiar colors that I know, like some of my MAC colors that I know, and put them in my own palette. I think Inglot has palettes you can make for lipstick, and I'm excited to try that eventually. But you know, those are like already easy made for you. So that was a really long video. I hope that helped you guys. Sorry it was so long. There are a million different ways to store lip products. Those are just some of my ideas that I've come with over time. If you have any ideas, let me know. Leave them in the comments and like share them with everybody. And I hope that helped some of you guys. So I took pictures. I'll have them on my blog. Check them out at makeupbyrenren.com for a full post with all the details. And thanks again for watching. I hope you guys have a great night. Ciao, Bellas. Here for like traveling, because it's so much easier to take these and just put them in a MAC palette. And like I have several categories. So this is like plums and berries. Here's lipsticks, nudes, and light pinks. So you can see some of those right here. That doesn't belong in there. And then what I would do is I have like empty ones for travel. So it says travel lipstick. And then these are some colors that I traveled with recently. And these are all basically like they're the empty eyeshadow pans that you would press pigment into. And I would put a magnet and then a label on the back. So this is MAC Melrose Mood. Here's one by, I think this is by Afterglow Cosmetics, called Wink. This one's Stilo Opulence. Like, and the circles came with these empty pans, and you can buy these pans like online from like starsmakeuphaven.com or anything like that. So basically, to do this, there are a million tutorials on there. What I did is I took a little palette knife and I cut 1/3, the top third of the lipstick off, and I put it in the pan, and then I put the pan on top of a flat iron, and I let it melt for like 10 seconds. Oops. Let it melt for 10 seconds, and then it dries for a couple minutes, and then it's in this solid state right here. And then you put the label and the magnet on the back, and then you stick it to your MAC palette. Now the only problem with this method is it looks really nice and neat and stuff like that. But when you melt certain lipsticks, it does change the way they look in the pan, and they do apply differently. And I did notice that that applies more to shimmery lipsticks. Like MAC Viva Glam 5 does not look right after you melt it. But matte lipsticks like MAC Ruby Woo, more cream kind of lipsticks, they look awesome like this. So that's just something to kind of keep in mind. But it makes it so much more convenient in a gig, and I can fit 26 lipsticks in here. And you know, people pre-sell lipstick palettes. Like I have a Graftobian lipstick palette, and I have like an Eve Pro one. But I like to have kind of like my familiar colors that I know, like some of my MAC colors that I know, and put them in my own palette. I think Inglot has palettes you can make for lipstick, and I'm excited to try that eventually. But you know, those are like already easy made for you. So that was a really long video. I hope that helped you guys. Sorry it was so long. There are a million different ways to store lip products. Those are just some of my ideas that I've come with over time. If you have any ideas, let me know. Leave them in the comments and like share them with everybody. And I hope that helped some of you guys. So I took pictures. I'll have them on my blog. Check them out at makeupbyrenrun.com for a full post with all the details. And thanks again for watching. I hope you guys have a great night. Ciao, Bellas.